Viewer discretion advised. The morning draped Manhattan in a fragile golden light, a deceptive calm whispering through the bustling streets. Coffee cups steamed in hurried hands, taxis hummed, and the city pulsed with its usual restless energy. Amid the crowd, a young woman paused, her breath catching as a low, guttural roar swelled above the urban din. It was no ordinary sound. It clawed at the air, growing louder, closer, unnatural. Her pulse quickened, a chill prickling her skin as she tilted her head skyward, eyes locking onto a glint of metal slicing through the blue sky, hurtling toward the tower silhouette ahead. Things are about to get strange.
All you ghouls and goblins, welcome to Conspiracy Weird. My name is Molly, and with me is my co-host slash husband slash graphic designer slash producer
slash audio engineer,
Josh.
Yo.
Snack time. I'm not doing snacks because I don't feel good.
It's almost bedtime, so
it's past my bedtime.
I already brushed my teeth, so no snacks for me.
I already took my drug, so I might fall asleep halfway through this. I hope not.
No, you won't.
Because this is one of my favorite conspiracy theories of all time, which is 9/11.
Favorite as in there's a lot of theories.
There's a lot of theories, not favorite as in like
the event itself.
The event itself. But favorite because there's a lot of theories behind it. It's also our oldest birthday. Our oldest was born on 9/11. Well, not the day of 9/11.
Okay, so
but,
I was going to save it as a fun fact towards the end. But our oldest was born on 9/11, just not 9/11/2001.
He was born in 2013.
Yes.
Fun fact.
So about 12 years later on that day, something good happened. But anyway.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to go through the events of 9/11 in chronological order. And all these times are in Eastern Standard Time.
New York time.
New York time. We're in Florida, so it's easy for us. Let's go. Ready?
Let's do it.
Buckle in. 7:50 a.m. American Airlines Flight 11, a Boeing 767 with 92 people on board, takes off from Boston's Logan International Airport. They were going to Los Angeles. 8:14 a.m. United Airlines Flight 175, a Boeing 767 with 65 people on board, deports Boston, also bound for Los Angeles. 8:19.
5 minutes later.
Flight attendants on Flight 11 alert ground personnel of the hijacking, prompting American Airlines to notify the FBI. 8:20 a.m. American Airlines Flight 77, a Boeing 757 with 64 people on it, takes off from Dulles International Airport outside of Washington, D.C., also headed for Los Angeles. Why are all these places... Okay, whatever. 8:24 a.m. Hijacker Mohammed Atta. I apologize if I'm saying these wrong.
No apologies for these people.
I know for these people, they're horrible, horrible people, but you also need to respect people's... Oh, whatever. I don't care. I'm too tired to care right now. Listen, we're recording this on a high pain day for me. We all know I have rheumatoid arthritis. I'm in pain, so we're just going with it.
Going with it.
Mohammed Atta makes the first of 2 accidental transmissions from Flight 11 to ground control, likely attempting to address the plane's cabin. 8:40 a.m. Air traffic controllers at the Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, alerts NORAD's Northeast Air Defense Sector, or NEADS, about the suspected hijacking of Flight 11. NEADS orders the fighter jets of Cape Cod's Otis Air National Guard base to locate the plane, but they are not airborne before the crash. United Airlines Flight 93, a Boeing 757 with 44 people, departs Newark International Airport for San Francisco. It is delayed from its scheduled 8 o'clock a.m. takeoff.
Flight 11 crashes into the North Tower. 8:46 a.m. Mohammed Atta and other hijackers crash American Airlines Flight 11 into floors 93 through 99 of the World Trade Center's North Tower, killing everyone on board and hundreds inside the building. At 8:47, the FDNY and NYPD units dispatch to the World Trade Center while Port Authority police begin evacuating the North Tower. 8:50, White House Chief of Staff Andrew Card informs President George W. Bush, then visiting an elementary school in Sarasota, Florida, of the World Trade Center crash.
So weird he was in Florida. Near me.
9:02 a.m. Port Authority officials, after initially advising South Tower tenants to stay put, broadcast evacuation orders for both towers via the public address system. An estimated 10,000 to 14,000 people are already attempting to evacuate.
Flight 175 crashes into South Tower. 9:03 a.m. Hijackers crash United Airlines Flight 175 into floors 75 to 85 of the World Trade Center's South Tower, killing everyone on board and hundreds inside. At 9:08 a.m., the FAA bans all flights to New York City or through its airspace. At 9:21 a.m., the Port Authority closes all bridges and tunnels to New York City and surrounding areas. 9:24, the FAA notifies needs of the suspected hijacking of Flight 77 after crew and passengers alert family members on the ground. And at 9:31 a.m. from Florida, President Bush calls the events in New York an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
Flight 77 crashes into the Pentagon. 9:37 a.m. Hijackers crash Flight 77 into Pentagon's western facade, killing 59 on board and 125 military and civilian personnel inside. 9:42 a.m. The FAA grounds all flights over or bound for the continental U.S., a historic first. Over the next few hours, approximately 4,500 commercial and private planes land at airports in the U.S. and Canada. 9:45 a.m. Amid rumors of further attacks, the White House, U.S. Capitol, and other landmarks and public spaces are evacuated. 9:59 a.m. The South Tower collapses.
Flight 93. Passengers fight back, plane crashes in field. At 10:07 a.m., after passengers and crew on Flight 93 learn of the New York and Washington attacks via phone calls, they attempt to retake the plane. Hijackers crash it into a field in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, killing all 40 on board. 10:28 a.m. The North Tower collapses 102 minutes after being struck by Flight 11. 11 a.m. Mayor Rudolph Giuliani orders the evacuation of Lower Manhattan south of Canal Street, impacting over 1 million residents, workers, and tourists as rescue efforts continue at the World Trade Center site. 1 p.m. at Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana, President Bush announces that U.S. military forces are on high alert worldwide. 2:51 p.m. The U.S. Navy dispatches missile destroyers to New York and Washington, D.C. 5:20 p.m. The 47-story 7 World Trade Center collapses after burning for hours. Evacuated earlier, it had no casualties, but the collapse forces rescue workers to flee. 6:58 p.m. President Bush returns to the White House after stops at military bases in Nebraska and Louisiana.
9/11 Commission Report and Aftermath. July 22nd, 2004, the 9/11 Commission report is released, including airport security footage of hijackers, classified documents, and cockpit recordings from Flight 93, concluding that all 19 hijackers were al-Qaeda members. October 17th, 2006, a federal judge rejects New York City's motion to dismiss lawsuits from first responders seeking health compensation. January 2nd, 2011, President Barack Obama signs the James Zadroga 9/11 Health and Compensation Act, renewing and expanding the Victim Compensation Fund. May 2nd, 2011, Osama bin Laden is killed by U.S. Navy SEALs. This is 10 years later, or almost just about 10 years later. May 15th, 2014, the National September 11th Memorial and Museum is dedicated in Lower Manhattan. November 3rd, 2014, One World Trade Center officially opens on the site of the Twin Towers. July 29th, 2019, President Donald Trump signs legislation authorizing the Victim Compensation Fund through 2092. August 30th, 2019, a U.S. military court judge in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, sets a January 11, 2021 trial date for Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 4 others charged with plotting 9/11. The trial was later postponed due to COVID-19.
Ew.
July 31st, 2022, Ayman al-Zawahiri, a key 9/11 planner and al-Qaeda leader after bin Laden, is killed in a U.S. drone strike in Kabul, Afghanistan.
The New York 9/11 attacks have sparked numerous conspiracy theories, none backed by credible evidence, yet they continue to circulate in public discourse. Here is a wild list that we will go over. Might not cover all of them, but there are so many out there.
Government foreknowledge. Some theorists allege U.S. officials knew of the attacks in advance and allowed them to succeed to further political goals.
Yep.
Former British Minister Michael Meacher claimed the U.S. deliberately failed to act. The 9/11 Commission report found no evidence of foreknowledge, attributing the attack solely to al-Qaeda.
I kind of believe that one. If they didn't plan the attack, the government knew about it beforehand and did nothing so that they could go to a war with Iraq and Afghanistan to get oil. But anyways, insider trading allegations. In the days before 9/11, an unusual surge in put options on American and United Airlines stocks fueled speculation of insider trading. Theorists suggest traders were tipped off, profiting off of the tragedy. The Securities and Exchange Commission's investigation found no link to the attacks, including after probing Osama bin Laden as a suspect.
Air defense stand down. Despite NORAD's protocol to intercept hijacked planes, skeptics claim the agency was ordered to stand down, citing the lack of fighter jet response. NORAD reported being notified too late to intercept, a timeline verified by the 9/11 Commission.
Pentagon missile theory. Some assert the Pentagon was struck by a missile or a military aircraft, not Flight 77, pointing to the small impact hole and limited video evidence. Official reports, backed by wreckage, flight data, and eyewitness accounts, confirm the commercial jet's crash. I will say I do believe that one a little bit as well myself. I have seen the footage, watched it slow-mo, heard what people said, and eyewitnesses, and I could see where they think it didn't happen. Not saying that it didn't happen, I'm just saying I can see where they're coming from.
You can believe that one.
I can believe that one.
Controlled demolition of the Twin Towers. I know I've heard this one a lot. Theorists argue the Twin Towers collapse resembled a controlled demolition with explosives planted in advance, Witnesses reported hearing explosions, and skeptics claimed jet fuel couldn't melt steel frames. NIST's investigation concluded fire and structural damage caused the collapses with no evidence of explosives.
Building 7 demolition, which this one is another one I believe in. The collapse of World Trade Center 7, Building 7, hours after the Twin Towers, is cited as evidence of a deliberate demolition. Its symmetrical fall suggests explosives to some. NIST's 2008 report attributed the collapse to fire-induced structure failure, finding no signs of explosives. Do you want to know what was in that building? Highly classified documents that people weren't allowed to have access to.
Mm-hmm.
All gone. So that's one that I do believe in. What were y'all hiding? Aliens?
Here's a crazy one. As soon as I finish yawning. The no planes theory.
Okay.
A fringe claim alleges no planes hit the World Trade Center or Pentagon, with impacts faked using holograms,
The fuck?
missiles, or CGI. Extensive eyewitness accounts, plane wreckage, and air traffic records confirm the plane's existence, debunking the theory. Like, who's really a giant hologram in broad daylight? Like, no. I don't even think we have the technology now to do that, let alone 2001.
People are dumb.
Yeah.
Was Spider-Man even out now? Okay.
Okay.
CIA or U.S. government orchestrate. I'm so tired.
Orchestration?
There we go. Some of my drugs are kicking in. Some allege that the attacks were a false flag operation by the CIA or U.S. government to justify wars in Afghanistan and Iraq or expand surveillance. Told you. No credible evidence supports this. You're okay. With the 9/11 Commission linking the attacks solely to al-Qaeda's planning. That's what they want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want you to believe.
Flight 93 staged.
Yeah.
Theorists speculate Flight 93 was shot down or landed safely with passengers murdered or relocated. The 9/11 Commission confirmed passengers' attempt to retake the plane, leading to its crash, based on cockpit recordings and wreckage analysis. And this 9/11 Commission, will have a link for it somewhere that you can check it out. But there's a lot of information to unpack on there, so definitely check it out.
Hijacker passport survival. The Loose Change documentary questioned how hijackers' passports survived the fiery crashes, arguing paper IDs could not withstand explosions that destroyed buildings. Investigators note lightweight items like passports were recovered among debris, consistent with plane crash investigations.
Past crash. Say it 10 times fast. Fake cell phone calls. Skeptics doubt calls made from hijacked planes, claiming cell phones couldn't function at high altitudes. One call, where a passenger used his full name, raised further questions. The 9/11 Commission verified most calls used airphones, and cell phone connectivity was possible in 2001 at lower altitudes. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say the next one, babe?
Sure.
Since it's part of your people.
No, actually, you go ahead. You just do that. You start that one.
Okay. Anti-Semitic foreknowledge myth. An offensive theory claims Jewish employees were warned to avoid the World Trade Center, implying complicity. Debunked by the BBC, data shows that up to 400 Jewish victims were among the 2,071 victims at the World Trade Center, aligning with the New York City's demographic. No evidence supports involvement beyond al-Qaeda. How do you
frankly, I take some
how do you
offense
feel?
at this one.
Because your dad's side is Jewish.
But if the Jews in New York were anything like my dearly passed Jewish grandmother from New York, they would have informed other people. It would have been a mixture of, concern, out of concern, and some gossip, but good intentioned nevertheless.
Yeah.
Hidden black box recordings. Of the 4 black boxes, there were 3 recovered, but only 1 yielded audible data, shared with victims' families in 2002. The secrecy sparked cover-up theories because they didn't actually share that publicly. The FBI and NTSB maintained the recordings, corroborated official accounts with no evidence of tampering.
Fake bin Laden tapes. Osama bin Laden initially denied involvement, but later claimed responsibility in recordings. Skeptics argue those were fabricated, citing his financial ties or alleged U.S. connections. The 9/11 Commission authenticated the tapes, confirming al-Qaeda's roles. It confirmed al-Qaeda's role.
Mm-hmm.
So, not so fun facts. Josh is going to go over all of these.
Okay. The FBI investigated Flight Safety Academy in Vero Beach, Florida,
Which is one town over from us.
after claims that some hijackers trained there. 2 Arab students were enrolled, but the investigation confirmed they were not involved in the attacks, clearing the academy of any connection.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. The Queen's Guard broke tradition.
Mm-hmm.
In a rare gesture, the band of the Coldstream Guards at Buckingham Palace in London played the U.S. national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, during the changing of the guard ceremony on September 13th, 2001, as a tribute to the victims. This was one of the few times in history that a foreign anthem was performed at the palace, reflecting global solidarity.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. A miracle escape. Pasquale Buzzelli, a structural engineer, survived the collapse of the North Tower by riding down 15 stories in a section of the stairwell that remained partially intact. Found atop the rubble with only minor injuries, his survival, known as the surfer's miracle, baffled rescuers and engineers alike.
Nice.
I can only imagine this guy just, fearing for his life, but surfing down these stairs. Oish. And a message from the sky. On 9/11, a German air traffic controller at Shannon Airport in Ireland, handling diverted U.S.-bound flights, received a message from one pilot. Tell the world we are okay, but we are not coming home today. This poignant transmission captured the chaos and uncertainty faced by thousands of stranded passengers.
So heartbreaking.
At least those people were safe.
Yeah. So, we're both going to answer all of these questions, okay? Where were you during 9/11 and what were you doing? We've talked about this numerous times.
Yeah, but not on microphone.
Yeah.
I was...
It's kind of like that question of where were you when JFK got killed with her parents?
But this is our...
This is our JFK.
So, I was... I'd have to do the math, but I was in gym class, and we were changing back into our regular school clothes, and in the locker room, and then it just started taking a long time before we swapped classes until finally somebody, like the teacher, said something about an emergency going on. And my mother actually ended up picking me up from school that day because she thought maybe the planes would come crashing into the schools.
No one knew what was going on.
Nobody knew. It was chaos. What were you doing?
I was 11 during 9/11. I remember I was at lunch, and I was on the volleyball team, and the day before I missed practice because I forgot my clothes. So I walked up to find my coach, who was also my science teacher, to say sorry, I forgot about my clothes and practice and stuff. And there were a few teachers watching the news, and I didn't realize it was the news. And when we left it, I'm like, it's not fair that they get to watch movies while we're outside in the heat, eating lunch. I was complaining. And then my mom came to pick me up, and she drove me to my grandma's house, and then she left to go back to the school to help them because she used to work at the school that I went to. And it was just really, really confusing because even down here in Florida, people are are they going to attack schools? Are they going to attack places like Disney? Are they going to go to the mall?
Mm-hmm.
What?
For me, I was actually in New York at that
Yeah.
time, so I wasn't terribly far from all of the commotion. I wasn't in the city. I was on the Long Island in Nassau County, so about 45 minutes out from them, but still fairly close. So I could definitely see my mother's concern. Yeah.
So how do you think the attacks have impacted you?
Oof. I would definitely say it made me more not on the edge or discerning, but more aware of my surroundings and just to keep a watchful eye on what's going on around me versus just, willy-nilly not paying attention. Try to look out for people's actions and stuff, and because you never know, and if I mean, also kind of coupled with the fact that I want to be a Sherlock Holmes and look for clues and things, and prevent things from happening. But yeah, that I would say just trying to be more discerned, more discernment.
For me, it gives me more empathy to other countries who are going through this on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly
Oh yeah.
thing, with what's going on with Ukraine. It's been 2 years now. What's going on with the Palestinians, sorry, not Palestine people, I'm sorry, Palestinians,
People of Palestine.
yeah, my heart goes out to them. I wish I could do something, scream from the rooftops and just shake people and be babies are starving and you're fine with it and it's not okay.
Why do you think the 9/11 conspiracy theories persist, despite official reports?
Because the government lies to us.
That was exactly what I was thinking when I read
The
that
government lies
originally.
to us all the time.
because people lie and people are imperfect and also people are dumb, so they'll
believe anything that the government tells them.
You give them a slight, something that makes sense, and it could just all be a fib story.
And it's people hop onto one ideology or one politician and just ride that so hard, and it's that's okay for you, but you need to also think for yourself and grow, and your opinions can change on the information that you're given.
Yeah. It's called seeing the whole picture.
Yeah.
Getting the facts.
Yeah. Well, we love you guys. Do you love them, Josh?
I love you guys too.
Sometimes.
And gals. And everybody in between.
She's, theys, and she's, theys, and gays. Stay weird, y'all, okay? Bye.
We want to thank you for tuning in. You can find us on all your favorite social platforms by searching Conspiracy Weird, posting photos and details from each episode. Please consider keeping our tummies full by donating to the Snack Fund. Donations will be given a shout out on the podcast. Special thanks to audionautics.com for the theme music. And remember, question everything.